this has to be the clearest example of karma to ever exist. So in 2018, a 51-year-old woman named Carol Shaw drove her car through a gate and onto a Little League field. In a heroic attempt to stop her, 68-year-old Douglas Parkhurst jumped in front of her car to try to close the gate. And although he was unsuccessful, he had pushed children out of harm's way and was able to hold her up long enough for the rest of the kids to get off the field to safety, so that thankfully no children were harmed that day. Now, as Carol was being arrested, Douglas had passed away before he reached the hospital. Although the motive for why she drove onto the field that day was never really revealed, Carol did have a few drunk driving charges in the past, and she was charged with manslaughter because of Douglas's death. Well, while some were celebrating Douglas as a hero, others were digging into his past. And that's when the story gets really twisted, because it was soon discovered that all the way back on Halloween night in 1968, a 4-year-old girl named Carolee Ashby was trick-or-treating with her older sister. And with her older sister still holding her hand, Carolee was run over by a drunk driver who just continued driving. And the case went unsolved for almost 45 years. Until 2013, when our hero Douglas walked into his local police station and confessed to being Carolee's killer. He admitted to running Carolee over with his car after a drunken night of partying. Now, because Carolee's death would have been considered manslaughter, and it's now been about 45 years since it happened, the statute of limitations has long run out, which I can't even believe is really a thing. So Douglas was set free to live his life, and get this, he never even apologized to Carolee's family. But when you fast forward to the Little League baseball game 5 years later, we have a drunk driver named Carol, totally unconnected to Carolee's family, by the way, who hits and kills young Carolee's killer, Douglas Parkhurst, and gets time in jail for manslaughter, the charge that Douglas escaped. Carolee's older sister, the one who was with her the night she was hit and killed, gave an interview after the incident at the Little League field. She said that Douglas's being hit and killed had finally made a complete circle.